अस्सलामु अलैकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी वयस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली। रब्बना ज़िदना इल्मा। आमीन या रब्बल आलमीन। Let's continue with our lesson إعراب for فعل مضارع. Last time we learned about the إعراب for فعل مضارع. We learned that there are three types of فعل مضارع when we are doing the i'rab, that is and we can say the fi'l mudari is in the state of can be in the state of marfu, it can be mansoob, it can be majzoom. We learn about how we can see or recognize the fi'l mudari when it is in the state of marfu or the rafa state, that's the normal state, or we can say it's the default state when there is no harf attached before it or affecting it. We have the mansoob state or the light state when it is affected by the huruf al-nasiba lil-mudari, and it is the lightest majzoom when it is affected by the huruf al-jazma lil-mudari. And then alhamdulillah we learned about the fi'l mudari marfu chart. We have seen the fi'l mudari marfu, the mansoob and the majzoom charts. We saw that how they can be seen with the different signs on them, and how we can recognize the fi'l mudari with the dhammas, fathas, and the sukoon, and with the hasf noon and with the subut noon. We started with fi'l mudari marfu, the normal state, and we saw how we can see fi'l mudari in the state of marfu with these two signs, the dhamma and the subut noon. We learned that fi'l mudari in the state of marfu, we can see the afal al-sahih, or we have the afal mu'talla. Afal sahih when they end with the other than the letters alif and ya, and we did the i'rab for the afal al-sahih. Fi'l mudari marfu alamat rafi ad-damma az-zahira, we always have a damma zahira. But as for afal al-mu'talla, alif and ya, the harf illa, we see a damma muqaddara. That is the implied or the hidden dhamma. And that is because of the reason of litu'azzir, due to the impossibility or due to the impossibility of applying the dhamma visibly to this particular verb form. So alif maksura, waw, ya, the dhamma is implied or muqaddara, like we have in yaksha, and there is no harfin nasaba or jazma before it. And when you see this word alone, you will suppose that there is an invisible or implied dhamma, that is dhamma muqaddara. Because you know that how do you are going to recognize when there is no because this you can say afal mutalla, this is very hard to recognize, but there is a way to recognize this type of afal mu'talla, or when they end with the harf illa, because you know that for afal sahih they are easy to recognize, either with dhamma zahira or fatha zahira or sukoon zahira. But how we are going to recognize a fi'l mu'talla? So the easy way to recognize them is that you know that there is an implied dhamma or implied fatha. So because there is no harf nasiba or jazma before it, and you know that when it is standing alone, when it is not without these both huruf, nasba or jazma, you'll suppose that there is an implied dhamma or the visible dhamma, and that is a dhamma muqaddar. And this is how we know that this word is marfu on the state of rafa. We cannot see it, but we know that it is there. It is there, but it is implied, or it is muqaddar. While our visible dhamma or dhamma zahira can be seen in these five sigas, huwa, hiya, anta, ana, and nahnu, for the marfu state. Then we have the other sign other than dhamma, that is the subutun noon, for marfu state of the fi'li mudari, and it can only be seen in afal al-khamsa. We know that afal al-khamsa are only attached with these pronouns alif isnain, wal jama, and ya mukhatiba. And we also did the examples as well. أنتما تخلصان, أنتم تخلصون, أنت تخلصين. We know that here this is ألف اثنين, واو الجمع, and يا مخاطبة. We were doing this flowchart last time. This is just the breakdown of all the alama for Rafa state or the Marfu state of Fi'l Mudari. We learned about Dhamma and we learned about Subutun Noon. Dhamma can be Zahira and Muqaddara, and Subutun Noon can be seen in Afal al Khamsa. So, in case of Afal al Khamsa, which can be dual, plural, or second person feminine, it ends with the letter Noon. All right, with the letter Noon, that is a Nunul Arab. A Nunul Arab. Here you can see our second person feminine, that is Anti Takhlusina, that are plural forms, and a dual form of Antuma and Antum. So, Afal al Khamsa can have the subutun known for the fi'l mudari marfu state. So when we talk about dhamma muqaddara, that can be seen or that can actually is implied or hidden for mutal akhir or huruf illa, that is alif or and ya. And there are two reasons. It can be litu azir and lisikal. Litu azir is only applied to alif. You can see here alif maksura here, and while listicle term can only be applied to wow and ya, you can see here. So ya, these cases, da yabqa, ya ta'ala, yasmu, and yarmi. Here ya, here wow, and this ya, you will assume that there is an implied or hidden dhamma. There is a dhamma muqaddara. There is a dhamma muqaddara for all these words. You cannot see it, but it's there. All right. So you cannot see it, but it's there. So these are the signs, two signs, dhamma and subutun for alamati rafi fi'li mudari, for the marfu state of the mudari. So as we talk about the litu'azir and lissakal, so let's see what are they. When we have mu'tal lil akhir means we have the harfi illa, the alif and ya. When doing the i'rab, we see these two terms, or you can say in advanced books, we see mostly in the Arabic books for the i'rab, we see these two terms, litu'azir and lissakal. So what are they? Lituazir is only for alif maksura. So here you can see yabqa and yata'ala. Lituazir means, and we'll see that inshallah, lissakal can only be seen. This term can only be found when doing the i'rab for wow. When a word ends with the wow or it ends with the ya. So let's see. Lita'azzur is due to the impossibility. Yabqa yata'ala. And listakal is due to the heaviness, due to the heaviness. Like sakal, you have seen this word in the Quran as well. Sakal is the heaviness, the burden, the heaviness. So here we see these terms for the Dhamma Muqaddara, the Fatah Muqaddara, or whatever. We see these two terms because of this is litwazir due to the impossibility. Lisakal is due to the heaviness. And lisakal can only be seen when the word ends with waw and ya. And litwazir can only be seen when we have alif maksura. So let's talk about the light. When the fi'l mudari is light, mansoob in the state of mansoob nasab state. So we have two signs for that as well, fatha and the hasfin noon. Like in the fi'l mudari marfu, we have the normal state, we have two signs, dhamma and the subutu noon. Here we have fatha and the hasfin noon. So let's learn about it. We know that we have the huruf al-nasba lil-mudari and lan likai. It can be separate or it can be joined together. These li and kai. Hatta, lam talil, fas sababiya, lam al-juhud. Just learn about, remember these terms, and inshallah we'll see them in detail as well. So these are all, you just see that these are all the huruf al-nasba lil-mudari. An means to, lan means will not, likai means so that, in order to, hatta is until to the point that, so that, lamat alil can be so that, fa sababiyya is so that. These are all conditions, and la mujud is to cause, because, and so that. So let's see. Started off fi'l mudari, light. When it is light, first we are going to learn about the first sign, that is fatha. Again, we have afal al-sahiha and afal al-mu'talla. For afal al-sahiha, when in the state of marfu, we saw the dhamma. Now we have the fatha. We know that it is the detail, the mansoob, the nasab state, the detail, and detail is always the state of fatha, the state of nasab. We have the fa'in and lam, yaf'ala, fi'l mudari mansoob, fi'l mudari mansoob. And what is the alama? What is the sign? Alama is nasbi al-fatha al-zahira. Al-fatha al-zahira, just like the dhamma zahira for af'al al-sahiya. So fi'l mudari mansoob always ends with the visible fatha on the last root letter for huwa, hiya, anta, ana, and nahnu, and we have seen in the charts for fi'l mudari mansoob only when the last letter is sahih, other than the haruf illa. Now look at this column for fi'l mu'talla. We know that it ends with the verb ends with the haruf illa, alif, aw, and ya. Here, yaksha, you can see here it ends with the ya. fi'l mudari mansoob wa alamati nasbihi al-fatha al-muqaddara. And I told you that we will see this fatha muqaddara, dhamma muqaddara in i'rab so many times whenever there is afal mu'talla, when they ends with a huruf illa. Ala alif, we know that it is ala alif means on the alif. Fatha muqaddara on the alif. What is the reason? Litu'azzir, due to the impossibility. This refers to the impossibility of applying the fatha, because we'll have difficulty in pronouncing it. So applying the fatha visibly to this particular verb form. And what is that particular form? Because this verb form is afal mu'talla, because it is ending with a huruf illa. Fi'l mudari mansoob always ends with the visible or implied fatha on the last root letter. So invisible or implied, we know that that is muqaddara. The English term for muqaddara is invisible or implied. So invisible or implied fatha will write the i'rab for when we have afal mu'talla. The reason is due to the impossibility of applying the fatha. This is a chart for fi'l mudari mansoob. As mentioned, huwa, hiya, anta, ana, and nahnu will have a fatha. And here we'll see that the next sign bihasfin noon. Bihasfin noon. We'll see the next sign. Here we see the fathas, while hunna and antunna remains the same. Now we have bihasfin noon, the dropping of the noon. So let's see. We know that these are the afal al-khamsa, so it can only be applied like bisubut noon was applied to marfu state for afal al-khamsa. Here it is hasfin noon for afal al-khamsa. See the same chart. Here, this afal al-khamsa for yaktubu, yaktuba, taktuba, yaktubu, taktubu, taktubi. Here, all the dropping of the noon is happening. The hasfin noon is happening here for haltin nasr. We know that waw jama, when we drop the noon, we just put this alif al-farqa to differentiate it with the real or the waw asliya. And we have already done that one. Now look at this example. في حالة النصب فنقول في الإعراب فعل مضارع منصوب وعلامة نصبه حذف النون, and it can be seen with the three pronouns ألف اثنين, واو الجمع, and يا مخاطبة as a file or نائب file. مثال is الشريفان لن يكذب, الشرفاء لن يكذبوا. So here الشريفان لن يكذب, we know that when فعل مضارع is affected by a harf of nasab. Here the harf of nasab is lan. You can see here. شريفاني is مبتدا مرفوع علامة رفع ألف لأنه مثنى. This is dual form. Lan is أداة النصب or حرف النصب. It can be called أداة النصب, and تنصب الفعل المضارع. يكذب فعل مضارع منصوب بلن, with lan. Here you can see the reason for fi'l mudari being mansoob. وعلامة نصبه, we know that the sign of nasbi has been noon. dropping of the noon. لأنه, why? Because of من الأفعال الخمسة, because it is from أفعال الخمسة. What is from أفعال الخمسة? يكذبان يكذبان تكذبان يكذبون تكذبون تكذبين. These are all أفعال الخمسة. while وألف اثنين إذا فاعل وجملة لن يكذب إذا خبر for مبتدا شريفان. Then we have الشرفة لن يكذبوا. So here we know that الشرفة is فعل مضارع مبتدا مرفوع علامة رفعه الضمة لن زادت النصب تنصب الفعل المضارع that is making فعل مضارع نصب. يكذب فعل مضارع منصوب why with لن and the علامة is نصب وحذف النون وعلامة نصبه حذف النون لأنه من الأفعال الخمسة. وواو الجمع is a فاعل وجملة يكذب is خبر ومبتدا يرفع. So in the same way تجزم على الأفعال الخمسة وعلامة جزم is حذف النون. Again by making جزم ومجزوم for الأفعال الخمسة we are always going to drop the noon, that is حذف النون for جزم as well. So this is the part we are inshallah going to see. So these are the example for our فعل مضارع منصوب when we are dropping the noon, حذف النون. So we learned about two signs, fatha and the حذف النون for our منصوب state or the light state for our فعل مضارع. Alhamdulillah. This is the flowchart for علامة نصب فعل مضارع. We learn about the two types again, the fatha and the حذف النون. Fatha can be zahira, fatha can be muqaddara. Again, same, just like the subut noon, that just like the alama for the marfu state of the fi'l mudari. So here, fatha can be zahira and it can be zahir when we have the sahih akhir, when we have the verb that ends with other than the harfi illa. So it can be yazabu, it can be yazabu. And fatha az-zahira can also have for mutal akhir, for waw and ya. When we were doing alama for the rafa, fi'li mudari, we have the dhamma muqaddara for the mutal akhir alif, waw and ya. But here it is different. Here fatha can be zahira for sahi akhir and we have yasma yarniya. Here we can see a zahir fatha, a zahir fatha for waw and ya, for waw and ya only. But we have the same rule there for alif, that is for the alamat, for alama for the nasab fi'l mudari. Here fatha muqaddara can only be seen for mutal akhir bi alif litwaze due to the impossibility of putting a visible fatha on yabqa yata'ala words like these when we have the words ending with the alif. We will write the reason litwaze, but here we see a fatha zahira here for waw and ya endings. That is quite different from فعل مضارع مرفوع state. So I know that it is quite difficult to learn in just one go. Inshallah, I hope that you are going to revise all the lessons and you are going to memorize these i'rab, that when we see these fatha zahira and we have the fatha muqaddara, when we have dhamma zahira and when we have the dhamma muqaddara, and inshallah with practice you will learn how to do the i'rab, how to recognize a fi'l mudari when it is in the state of marfu. We see a clear dhamma, we see a dhamma implied or muqaddara. In the state of nasab, we see a fatha zahira, we see a fatha muqaddara, we have the noon. So all these, then we have the noon, and that is again, noon is only related with the fa'al khamsa. Remember that. It can be subutun noon for marfu, it can be hasf noon for the mansoob state and for the jazm state as well. So yaktuba, taktuba, yaktubu, you see the dropping of the noon here for afal al-khamsa. Just remember that fi'l mudari for the nasab state can have a fatha or asfal noon. Fatha can be zahira, fatha can be muqaddara. When zahira, we have the sahih akhir, and we have also mu'tal akhir for waw and ya only. But muqaddara fatha can only be seen for alif, like here. Yabqa, yata'ala, words like these. So we have the fatha muqaddara and also dhamma muqaddara. Then here we have the reason lituwazzir. Lituwazzir is only related with the alif. Remember that. Lituwazzir is only related with the alif. Alhamdulillah. So this is it for now. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.